We are usually used to looking for the cause of a problem outside ourselves. Let's say stress caused my illnesses, or the fact that I currently have a lot of burdens at home or at work, or I don't know, some bacteria, viruses, fungi, that they are the reason for our illnesses. Through my years of practice, I have noticed that sometimes, despite a really good treatment plan, physical support, a good diet, good herbs, and very effective supportive therapies that help the body, trace therapies, and even with all that, there is some kind of blockage that prevents these people from overcoming their problem. Even though sometimes the condition improves a little, things get a bit better, but there is no real resolution to this stage. And here it is very important for us to be aware that there are causes, internal ones, meaning that we ourselves, through our ideas, through thoughts that trigger certain reactions, through these programs of ours that actually guide our thinking, our view of the world, and our interpretation of various situations in life, that they create an internal milieu, an internal environment in which sometimes it is harder for the body to cope. So definitely, if we feel this blockage, if we see that despite all our efforts, we still don't have that success or can't finish this stage, it's worth searching internally. And the internal environment is actually, you could say, very large and broad. It's a bag where you can throw in a lot of different factors. It's similar to the understanding in Ayurvedic medicine, or actually, I would say, in yoga systems in general. We know that we have a physical body and a mental body. The mental body is the Manomaya Kosha, and we have the energetic body, which is the Pranamaya Kosha, and then we have the body of wisdom, the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and the most internal one, which is the Anandamaya Kosha. So this also gives us the understanding that we are not only physical beings, that we have a subtler level of existence which is influenced by various things. For example, our deepest body is the Anandamaya Kosha. That's what we're talking about here. It's as if we connect on this level, as if we are actually, this is the spark, let's call it God, or the energy of the universe that created everything in this world. This is exactly that level. So we are connected with all living beings on this earth. We have a very deep relationship with everything that is alive. And I would even say with what is not alive. So experiencing this state, there are people who have reached this state. These are enlightened people. Well, let's say Buddha is such a case, known all over the world, who experienced this state and then spoke about the laws of life, about suffering, how we can overcome it, understand it, and how to go on living. There are many, many deep reflections and, in fact, experiences, because this is not just theory. And sometimes illness is also something from this kind of inner point of view that I know. It shows that we have become distant from our roots. Roots mean that deepest level where we are connected with everyone, with both the bad and the good, with what we accept and what we do not accept. That we are also, in a way, part of this life, which is always in a certain kind of motion. This life does not begin when we are born, and it does not end then. When we die, it simply continues. So many things in our lives are the result of many such entanglements, perhaps from a previous life, and that we as souls also choose certain circumstances, certain parents, certain situations, and we are born into a particular environment because we have something to work through. For example, many children have difficult illnesses. When a child is born, it is hard for us to accept why this has happened. Or let's say, suddenly later in life we experience infertility, even though everything is fine with us from a medical point of view or in general, and yet there are sometimes these blockages that are incomprehensible to us. And from a spiritual point of view, it is also the case that a certain acceptance that what has happened or is happening in my life has a deeper meaning. First of all, it frees you from that pressure and from that sense of injustice that, okay, this area, this thing didn't work out for me, but I can focus on many other good things that are happening in my life. So, shifting your attention from what isn't working in your life to what really is, when you focus your energy and attention on that area, it grows. And when we keep holding on to that sense of being wronged, the feeling of why not, it should be this way, I do so much, I've done everything, but still I can't succeed, there's a certain frustration. So, if we want to solve the problem, we have to change our perspective. Because when we're constantly frustrated, not accepting, sad, and experiencing all those negative emotions, they also have a lower vibration. Having that lower vibration, diseases, viruses, and fungi all have low vibrations. So, from an energetic point of view, similar frequencies attract similar frequencies. So, when we're vibrating at a low frequency, meaning we're holding on to negative emotions, it also weakens us and makes us more susceptible. In such an environment, we can't get out of that state. So, in order to change this state of illness into a state of health, as I said, we need to shift our attention to the positive aspects of our lives. By doing so, we also change our internal environment through changing our thoughts, through certain acts of acceptance, through feeling gratitude for what we have, instead of constantly focusing on what we don't have. This, in turn, can affect our health. Through our thoughts and reminders, it always stirs up a lot of negative emotions in us. And if we keep heading in that direction all the time, it also holds back healing. This limits us greatly because, from the perspective of our inner bodies, since we are also an energetic body, when we send negative thoughts toward that person or those people, the law of energy says that no energy ever ends or is destroyed. It is constantly transforming. So, after some time, those negative waves that we send to those people or that person also come back to us in various other ways through different channels, but that lesson or that same energy will return to us. And this can also be a significant and major obstacle to getting out of that difficult state. So, these spiritual causes clearly show us that by consciously changing our thoughts, by accepting the situation as it is, and despite everything, by intentionally sending positive healing energy to those people who may have done us wrong, we can break this negative cycle. By doing this, we help ourselves. In every religion, it is said that forgiveness has great power, so we forgive that person, but in reality, the greatest benefit is for ourselves. We ourselves are the ones who benefit from this forgiveness. Thanks to this, we close that chapter. We also break those low vibrating energies, and by forgiving, we can instead raise our energetic body, strengthen it. Because truly, our entire energetic body absorbs all the waves that we ourselves emit into the world. And because of that, I think this is a very important aspect of health. In fact, every religion talks about this, maybe in different ways, but the essence of every religion in the world is that we are divine beings. We are everything that lives. We are connected, and we are a cell. When we call it harm, we are actually that small cell. If we harm ourselves or others, that harm actually spreads. And in order to stop that harm, to prevent it from spreading further, the law also serves to limit harm. It limits what can harm others, what can disrupt the order of this world. Because the good of everything is our good. So if the harm of one is harm for all, to prevent this from happening, illnesses sometimes appear, sometimes very difficult ones, even death, to block us, to keep that harm from spreading further, to contain it. Having this kind of knowledge, we can look at ourselves and our problems in a completely different way and have the sense that I have influence over my life and my health, that I can change my way of thinking, that I can forgive others for my own sake, that I can send them blessings. I can say that I understand well that maybe at some point I hurt someone, and maybe that's why this happened to me, so that I could understand how a person who is hurt feels. And so I understand, I forgive, I accept, and I move forward in life. And here in this chapter, we present many beautiful, simple methods, ways in which we can align this inner environment, and above all, how we can grow as human beings. Because God gave us a choice. We can be closer to an angel or closer to Satan. The choice is ours. And illness can, in fact, actually become a truly great blessing from a spiritual perspective, especially for inner development, for the growth and strengthening of inner values, values that are, in a sense, eternal, unchanging, and indestructible. No matter what changes in this world, because life is change. But if we are deeply connected here with the laws of this universe, the law of life, then in Chinese, this is called Tao, in Hindu, Dharma. If we are connected with these values, then everything is always good, really. Everything is always as it should be. It's not that you can say it's good in the usual sense, but whatever happens is right, and everything becomes an experience that develops us, enriches us. Even illness can be such an experience from this point of view. Thank you.